It's Bennetts BSB round 9 for 2025, and we are at the famous Cathedral of Speed, one of the best circuits, not just in Europe, but in the world. It's so good to come back here to the Netherlands after a 6-year absence, BSB. And we've just had Friday free practice concluded, and we're going to take you down pit lane for a walk. There's quite a lot to get through here in this one. At the moment, pit lane's quite quiet, so that's nice for a change. As we just go along here, we can just see the Whitecliff CDH racing team. Luke Hedge has been in the points of late. He'll be looking to continue that. A number of riders, as you can imagine, haven't been here since the last time we were here, and a big group of riders never even been on a superbike around Assen before. Richard Kerr is fighting fit despite that nasty incident at Donington Park a couple of weeks ago. Over in the Honda garage, as you'd probably imagine, there's been so much talk in the media about what's going on behind the scenes here. What we can tell you is, as you look at the British Supersport riders, Jack Kennedy and Dean Harrison will be going out for their sessions later over in the weekend. There's only one bike in the garage for Honda UK Racing. Now, as you may well have read, there is no Harvey Beltran. Taking over as interim team boss, if you like, is Scott Hargreaves. Andy Irwin is unfit from his crash at Donington Park, so Tommy Bridewell riding solo. He's just concluded a very busy World Superbike test, and there's a bit of higgledy-piggledy going on behind the scenes as well, because with Andy Irwin not racing, they've decided to sort of mix up things a little bit. So Spider, who's been in the paddock for so long, is teaming up with Tommy Bridewell as his crew chief. They've never worked together before, but it seems to work quite well today. Tommy is in the mix. He's got that fighting look in his face as well. I think they'll be pretty happy with how today has gone so far. Tommy was inside that top 5, but probably just looking for a couple of extra tenths to get himself up into the top 3. Remember, the top 12 riders from today go straight through to Q2, and it is showdown time as well. So the points ramp up, 25 for a win, coming up here in Assen at Alton Park in a few weeks' time. And then, of course, it goes up another notch for Brands Hatch, the finale. In this garage, then, Raceway's Yamaha rider Bradley Ray. Coming into Assen, I think most of us generally felt like Brad Ray and Scott Redding, on paper, would have a slight advantage because of their recent experience here at Assen in World Superbikes. Whether or not that advantage stays true all the way through the weekend, it remains to be seen. But true to form, Brad Ray was quickest here today on the Raceway's Yamaha. I'm going to see if I can nick a quick word with Brad. He's just having a chat here to his crew and to, of course, his manager, Shaky. He's sticking his hat on. So we're going to catch a quick word with him. Now things are going to get busy, Ash. You can hear bikes about to go out on circuit. Fastest man, though, on day one, Brad Ray. Brad, you came back into BSB and you've been back to these wonderful quirky circuits of ours and now back to Assen. It must have felt like a bit of a strange moment going out of pit lane today, but well done, fastest on day one.
Yeah, no, it was good. Like you say, we've been back to the Nadri BSB style circuits. It's nice to come back to Assen. Obviously, I've done it for the last few years in World Championship, but yeah, it's such a unique place. And when you get the bike working well and flowing well, it's a beautiful place to ride. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here and happy to have that momentum back, that feeling back with the bike. The problems out the way, and we can crack on now.
Yeah, in recent weeks in BSB, it's not so much you, it's just there's been little hiccups here and there. You're now 28 adrift. How important is this weekend in terms of the championship for you, if you look at the bigger picture?
Yeah, it is very, very important. Like you say, we've had a few tricky rounds, lost a few points to Kyle. Kyle's riding really well at the minute, so yeah, we've got to have a smooth weekend this weekend. The points are obviously bigger for a win now, but the gap between first and second is only 3 points still. So it's important to finish races and yeah, do the best we can. But the goal is to try and win. We need to try and get some points back. So try and win is the main goal, and just enjoy the racing.
Good luck this weekend.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. That's
Brad Ray then. Of course, long-time championship leader here in 2025, but with it all to do here in Assen. Goal one will be to get as many points off Kyle Ride as possible. Remember, Kyle, pretty sure in thinking Kyle's not been here since we were last here at BSB when he was a GP2 rider. He won the race on that day. Danny Kent was fast in that session on the McCams Yamaha. We know, of course, Martrain Racing won't be in town next year, which is really sad news. Tim and Sonia Martin have called time on their episodes here. Maybe one day they'll come back. It would be great to see them. But Danny Kent seeking a new ride for next year. There are a lot of murmurings that may have already been sorted potentially for 2026, so stay tuned and we'll keep you posted. I can see Scott Swan is in his garage, but his bike isn't. I'm not sure whether or not he's just had an accident in that session, but he looks perfectly okay. He's just talking to his crew chief there, James Buckingham, and also you can just see there with the arm brace on is Andy Irwin, who of course is injured coming into this one. That's a real shame for Andy, because he was just coming into some good form, and it is shop window time at the moment, but good to have Andy here with us. It has been, I think, a really strong season so far for AJN, Steelstock Kawasaki, and their momentum keeps on going here into Assen as well. Both Christian Idden and Max Cook in that session inside the top 12, which is key for them, and not too far off the top 3 or 4 either. So we'll keep tracks on both Christian and Max as the weekend goes on. No Billy McConnell here this weekend. We do have a wildcard appearance here this weekend though. Dutch rider Wayne Tessels is coming in for a play on his home circuit. Those of you who have watched World Supersport and National Superstock a few years back on the world stage and European stage will remember Wayne. I think he finished second in the European Junior Superstock it was, I think 2014, 10, 11 years ago. Blaze Baker is back here as well. Remember, Blaze picked up an injury, which meant that he didn't get up to too much racing over the last couple of weeks. So the South African gets to have a run out here at this wonderful Assen circuit. It's incredibly bright down here. I can barely see you, Ash. Over here in the Lou 810 Racing BMW team, we can see there Peter Hickman and Davey Todd. I'm going to get a quick word with Peter, actually. Peter, of course, back to fitness, or some sort of fitness, back at Donington Park. And also here in Assen, Hickey had a podium when we were here quite a few years back it seems now. Have to say, I was just watching that session, that looked like a step forward.
Yeah, it's more in me than it is the bike, to be quite honest, at the minute. I'm still not 100% fit. I'm fit enough to ride, I'm fit enough to crash even, but I'm not strong. I can ride not too bad. I'm probably about 80 odd % recovered. That's about it. My right arm's really weak, so I really struggle hard braking. And I'm quite awkward in a few sectors. I can't sit on the bike quite how I want to, so when I change direction in particular, it's really difficult for me, and I sit in a really odd position. But to be honest, the more laps I do, the better I'm going to get. And the boys and girls are doing a great job like normal, and the bike feels actually pretty good. And I think I was 16th then, and like only a few tenths off being inside the top 10, which again, I'm not really expecting to be anywhere near that sort of pace yet, and to be already putting that sort of lap time in is actually pretty good, so quite positive.
Is this now all just about, between you and Davey, just trying to work on something ready for next year more than actually looking at what each round?
100%, yeah. Everything's about 2026. It's not really about this year right now. Davey's still obviously learning a superbike. These things are not easy to ride. They're very, very different to what people think. You look at any of the kind of superstock guys that have moved up, none of them are actually pulling the trees up at the minute, and it's because it's so different to ride these superbikes. Once you change them electronics from a superstock bike to a superbike, it may as well be a different manufacturer. It's that different to ride, and that's, to be honest, where Davey's been struggling a little bit. It's not helped because I've not been here to help him. At least now, from Donington and now here, I can put some positive input into the team, which will then also give him some positive input as well. And fingers crossed we can help to try and get him up where he should be.
Good stuff. Good luck this weekend, Peter.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Good to chat to the team. Good to see Peter back, not to full fitness, but just back riding the way that he wants to. We've got a few paddock stands here to dodge, Ash, as we go a bit further down pit lane. He just mentioned that it's been a struggle for BMWs in general. That has been the case for Storm Stacey. I'm sure he'd love to end this season with a podium. Whether or not it comes here in Assen remains to be seen. Storm, I believe, the last time he was here was British Talent Cup. That would have been, 2018-19? And on that day, he was on the podium with, no less, Rory Skinner and Max Cook. Superbike round Assen, a little different to a Moto3 bike. The tag team here, work to do. I think Fraser Rogers is quite disappointed because he knows he's got more in the tank. Just suffering with a bit of self-confidence at the moment. Jamie Van Sikelris, on the other hand, of course, back on home turf. Lots of family and friends here to watch him ride the Tag Racing Honda. They'll be looking for some decent points as the weekend goes on. Now, here at Hager PBM Ducati, I can see that Duncan Vincent, who is the circuit commentator, is trying to poach a word, but he's being very kind and moving along. So I can see if I can get a word with Scott Redding. Could we? Yeah, Scott's going to come over in a bit. As I mentioned, both Brad Ray and Scott Redding have both raced here in World Superbike. Scott raced here earlier this year as well, so it'd be good to get his thoughts. Less than a tenth covering both Brad Ray and Scott Redding. Of course, Scott back on the podium, back to winning ways last time out at Donington. And this is all just building, we think, into what might happen next year. The cowboy hat is on, the smile is on the face here. Scott, I bet it's nice coming to a circuit where you can really stretch your legs.
Yeah, it's been nice being here in Assen, to be honest. It's such an iconic circuit. I've raced obviously here earlier this year as well. It's a track that is one of my favourites anyway on the calendar in Europe, so it's always a joy to come here and have a good bit of fun with no traction control.
I was going to say, you've been here at Grand Prix level, you've been here at World Superbike level, but what you've never done is ridden a Superbike round here with no traction control. How has that felt?
Yeah, it's a bit like Donington. It's like I know how it goes with a Superbike, and when I switch off for a second, I go into Superbike mode and whoa, you got to calm down a little bit. But it does make riding this track different without electronics.
In terms of your expectations for this weekend, we all know that you've been here recently, Brad's been here recently. You do both stand out as sort of, let's say, the bookies' favourites for the weekend. Would you say that that's fair?
Yeah, I understand. I expect that to be the case. To be honest, Brad's found his light again, shall we say. He's back on the pace, which is good. I'm not fully confident with the bike. We've been trying some stuff that we haven't been able to try at other tracks because I'm learning the circuit. And obviously Donington with the schedule was hard. So we tried some stuff. Bits worked, bit didn't. So I want to find something where I get a little bit more rhythm for the rest of the weekend and yeah, try and get some victories.
Thanks, Scott. Good luck.
Thank you.
Scott Redding there then. Second place here today. Remember, 3 races this weekend. Scott doesn't feature in the championship, but he is actually getting himself really close now up into that top 10 overall in the standings. Here in the Master Mac Honda garage, Charlie Nesbitt, I have to say, was thoroughly impressive in that session just a moment ago. He was inside the top 8. Charlie, I think, was here on a 600 in Supersport, 2019? So he has been round here before. John McPhee, of course, the last time he was here would have been World Supersport, but before that, he had a Grand Prix podium in Moto3 here in 2017, and a really good day for John McPhee as well, inside the top 10. And it's the first time we've said that for a while, so fingers crossed for a good weekend for both of the Master Mac Honda boys. Still got a few garages to go down here. I could stop and talk to more, but I don't want to bore everyone with an hour-long pit lane walk. Work to do for Dow Racing. Both Lee Jackson and Josh Brooks did not make it into the top 12 here today, so they're going to have to go through Q1 tomorrow. Both riders have just been announced that they will be remaining with Dow Racing Honda for next year, so they're both quite relieved, I'm sure, and it's something to build on. Remember, it's the first year for Dow Racing with Honda, and these guys as well have really got to just get to grips. Lee Jackson is back after missing a number of rounds due to injury, and poor Lee Bob, just to add insult to injury, had his caravan nicked as well. Go on his socials, spread the news so that we can find those rascals that have stolen his caravan, because it had all his suits in. He's only got one leather suit with him here this weekend, so he's hoping that he doesn't have a slip-off, but good to have him back nonetheless. Rory Skinner, you might remember Rory raced in Moto2, but he was actually injured when we came to Assen, so the last time he would have been here would have been on a 600. He's done Red Bull Rookies here, he's done British Talent Cup, currently 3rd in the championship overall on the Cheshire Mouldings Ducati, so I just wonder whether or not he might be on the cusp of the top 5 this weekend. No rider has won more races around Assen in British Superbike than Leon Haslam, which is why I'm going to try and pinch a word with him. Let me see, I'm just going to quickly wander in. He's currently drawing what looks to be a circuit map at the moment. I don't know if you can see that, Ash, but I don't know if he's drawing his own version, but this is Art Attack with Leon Haslam at the moment. Oh, look at that. Very good. Leon, do you mind if we pinch a quick word? Thank you. Well, there we are. If all else fails, there's a job in the art industry. Leon. Okay, I'll stand back. Leon, no one's won more British Superbike races than you here. You've had World Superbike podiums here as well. How did it feel today?
Yeah, all right. I've really been ill of this weird cold that I've had, so it's been a hard day physically, but we've got through the things that we needed to with the bike. Yeah, it's first time I've had the Ducati here in a long, long time, so it's been nice to get a feel for that, and yeah, I think we've done the right steps so far.
Anything that you're missing in any particular area?
Yeah, just little bits. We need to still sort the engine brake out a little bit. We'll go work a little bit on tyre life. 18 laps around here is quite key. we see the Yamahas, and even Scott's got a little bit better tyre life at the minute. So yeah, we're making the right steps. It's a weird little schedule, BSB, only 2 45-minute sessions, then pretty much straight into qualifying. So we did the job today, and hopefully it'll pay off tomorrow.
Have a good weekend and hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Leon Haslam then feeling a bit under the weather after day one here. Hopefully he can sort that out. 5 times he's won British Superbike races around here. Okay, just one more garage to go. It is, of course, the British Superbike champions, Kyle Ryde's garage. I am going to try and get a word with him. Glenn Irwin on the other side as well. It's just been announced that Glenn Irwin is going to remain with Nitrous Competitions Racing for next year. We know that Kyle Ryde has already extended his deal to stay put here as well. We don't yet know whether it will be with a Yamaha or a Ducati. We are prodding them, but they're not telling us anything just yet. But the champion and championship leader, Kyle Ryde. Kyle, I was just saying to Brad and to Scott earlier, on paper, given their recent experience, they are going to be favourites here, but how was day one for you, your first time on a Superbike round here?
Yes, not as good as what I wanted. I know there was going to be fast here. I just thought if I could get within a few attempts, I knew when we set off for a race I'd be able to learn a bit, but we've, I don't know, plateaued a bit after FP1, not really made the bike any better. But we've got a great team, we'll do some hard work tonight. We made some big changes there and the bike looks exactly the same, so there's obviously something going wrong, but we'll figure it out, we're good enough to do so. Find a bit of time in the morning and yeah, we'll start our weekend off tomorrow.
You won a GP2 race round here quite a few years ago now. Was it a shock to the system rolling out this morning?
Kind of. I've only just about gone faster than it, to be honest. So no, it's taking some figuring out. But yeah, for me, I feel like I've done the same lap time from lap 4 to then. I've not actually got any faster. I feel like I'm riding with people, riding better. Just the bike's letting me down a bit, but we've figured it out many times this year. We'll do some hard work tonight and close the gap.
Good luck.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Kyle Ryde then the championship leader, 28 points ahead going into the first of our 2 showdown races with 25 points available. And then, of course, the big one at Brands Hatch in what is that now, 4 weeks' time. Assen is brilliant. It's a fantastic circuit. We're hoping for a good crowd. If you're at home with nothing to do this weekend, you're thinking, no, it's not possible. It is. Flights to Assen, flights to Amsterdam, really cheap. You can get a train from Amsterdam to here for what, about £25 as well. Why not? The weather's going to be lovely here tomorrow. Not sure about Sunday, but this is how you can tune in to the showdown action here at Assen over the weekend. Normally, I give you a rundown of what times we're on different TNT channels, but I've had a look at the schedule and there's no way I'm going to remember it. So what I'm going to tell you to do is go on to BritishSuperbike.com where all the television schedules are on there, and I'll also give them a prod upstairs, and I'm sure that on all of our socials, official BSB on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook, they'll give you all of the TV times. Don't miss a drop of the action. Can't wait for tomorrow.